Well, good morning once again and welcome to GMU Agenda, where we look at an issue of national concern. And we are going to be looking at passports. Every Ugandan, it is your right to own a passport. But how do you acquire one? And of late, recently we heard there was a shortage. There were shortages in the office in charge of that. That is under Ministry of Internal Affairs. And in the studios is the spokesperson, Ministry of Internal Affairs, Jacob Siminyu, with me to discuss this topic. We all need passports at one point. If you're going to travel outside this country, a passport makes it very easy for you. And welcome, Jacob.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Our viewers, we're also happy to be with you this morning.
It is a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
To begin with,
yes.
I want a passport. I have to travel. And coming to your office, we've run out of passports.
Well, those are scenarios we have had in the past, but we are done with them. Right now, we have passports in abundance. All Ugandans can have passports and travel and come back and still find us issuing passports. So Ugandans out there, let no one tell you that we have shortages. We do not have any shortage of passports. There are passports. We have issued passports of those who applied during the shortages. And now we're having a problem of passports which are uncollected. So any of you out there who has applied for a passport and you have not collected it, you come and pick it. Just in case your application is not there, you let us know quickly so that we find out what happened to it, because the applications sometimes which get problems. You are going to print and you find the quality of the picture is not good. You are going to print and you find someone has put his date of birth is today or this year, when a person has wazukuru, grandchildren. So we put it aside and call the person. But those are a few applications. Just in case there's an application which is not ready, you let the supervisors in room 9 know. If you can't be helped, please come to the public relations officer. We have the passport control officer. We have the commissioner in charge. Complain. For us, complaining is okay because it gives us feedback. If you keep quiet when your passport has delayed, then we won't know what's happening if there's something that requires to be fixed. Otherwise, we have many passports and Ugandans should come and pick them.
Well, the issue is now solved. Passports are there. Let's look at the types of passports being offered. In that time, there were VIP passports are there. Ordinary passports are not there. How many types of passports do we have in Uganda?
We have a number of types. They are different according to the category of people they serve. We have the diplomatic, the red ones, which everyone would love to have, apart from me. The red ones is supposed to be given to very high-ranking officials, like the president, the ministers, speaker of parliament, the judges of high court, and foreign service officials. If you're working for the government of Uganda outside this country, you and your family get diplomatic passports.
Okay.
We give them the foreign service officials in categories. Some can get official passports, others can get diplomatic passports. And that takes me to the official passport. But before I go to the official passports, diplomatic passport is supposed to be used only during official trips. Okay. If you know you are going for holiday and you are carrying a diplomatic passport, you declare that you are going to do your own things so that they don't give you the immunities and privileges that a diplomat is supposed to hold, because you are going to do your own things. Yes. We also have the official passport. The official passport is held by people like members of parliament. It's green in color, and it's held by parliamentarians, heads of departments, and other people close to those categories, as may be determined by the minister. Those ones, the diplomatic passport, you pay 300,000. Official passport, it's 250,000. From the official and the diplomatic, we go to the ordinary passport.
The one I have.
The one which you have, which has the thick blue color. That very interesting document, very lovely. I love it. That passport is held by all Ugandans. There are some people come to us and say, what about a child of 3 months? Every Ugandan deserves to get a passport, whether it's 1 day old or whether he's sick and is you are not sure whether he will finish a day today. Every Ugandan gets that passport. Then we have the East African passport, which was put up by East African states to facilitate trade, to facilitate movement within the region. That is navy blue. It's also a nice document. It allows you to travel within East Africa.
Within,
at the moment,
not beyond
At the
East
moment,
Africa.
it allows you to travel within East Africa. However, when we bring a new one next year, which will be electronic and international, it will replace ours, which you are using in all the different categories of diplomatic, official, and ordinary, and we shall all be using the East African e-passport. This is an electronic passport. It's the very high generation, most recent, and it holds a lot of data on a person, including biometrics. It is very secure. That is the East African passport. But there is another one for refugees.
Okay.
Once you come here to seek asylum and you are registered as a refugee, and you want to transact business or to travel, you go to the office of the Prime Minister, express your intention, fill a form, and then they give you a recommendation. You go to the bank and pay, and you come and issue a conventional travel document. Conventional travel document allows you to travel to many countries apart from your own country. Now we have also gone beyond passports. We are using the national ID to travel within East Africa, especially this ID can go to Kenya and Rwanda. There are also misconceptions about that. Some people want to use it to go up to Tanzania. Tanzania has not yet accepted that arrangement of using national ID. So has Burundi and South Sudan. So those who are holding national IDs, you can get an interstate pass and go to Kenya or Rwanda. And the citizens of those countries can also come to Uganda while holding national IDs, and they get interstate. They stay for a period of visiting. However, when you're having an interstate, you don't transact in business, you don't go farming, you are just supposed to visit.
Just supposed to visit. It is GMU agenda here on UBC TV, and we are looking at passports. We have the spokesperson of Ministry of Internal Affairs in studio. Well, passports in Uganda is one of the ways people have been fleeced, people have been conned of their money when they're seeking to have a passport. Let's look at the procedure of acquiring a passport, because this is where all the problems start from. You want a passport? I can get you a VIP passport. I can get, people think, all assume, I don't know if that is the fact, because I didn't go through it, that getting a passport is so hectic and you need someone to get you either through the door and make it very fast. It
is not that hectic. It's easy, but it will become even much easier. This is how it will become easier. We have got national IDs, and when we get the database from the National Identification and Registration Authority and start interacting with it, possibly next year, then a Ugandan with a national ID will come and will use the particulars which he submitted at the national ID. But right now, we have not started sharing that data, so you are required again to look for your friends, the LCs, for a while. The LCs 1, 2, and RDC, because they are still vetting people who have not got passports. However, those who have got passports, they even have a much smoother journey. You bring the passport, you just fill a form, write a letter asking us to renew, you attach photos, pay in the bank, and come to us. As simple as that. Only that there is a recommendation required, a friend of you who is not really well positioned as people think, but a Ugandan citizen in good standing who does not have criminal record, a person who is in good standing. And to just explain a little further, you really get someone who has some responsibility. See, like if you get an office attendant, they might say, well, this one we are not sure, because his responsibility stops at managing a few things. Border riders and that kind of thing, no drivers and that kind of thing. But if someone is a teacher, is a lawyer, is an administrator, is an LOC, those are managers. They manage a large number of people. They can recommend. You and I can recommend. Only that me, I expect recommendations to come to us, not us to recommend.
To recommend.
So once that is done, then it's okay. But I'm telling you, to get a passport, it's now very easy. Once you have gone through, fill the form, go through LC 1, 2, 3, you have your recommendation, your photos are okay, you have paid in the bank, you put those things in the file folder and come with your receipt. We ask you a few questions to confirm whether what you have filled is the truth, because some people even forget their date of birth. So we interact with them. There is a way we have been interacting with the applicants. Some of them don't speak English, so we interact with them in their local language. But now if you are to interact in the local language, we need a person who is from that local language. So some people say we are tribal, but we have had a history of not having a national ID. And so many Ugandans still don't have national ID. So we try to cross-check to find whether you fall in the categorizations of the law, because the law specifies who is a Ugandan, and we all become Ugandans by law. And if
you've talked about the documents. I have the documents. Then stated time in which I should receive a passport, because this is one of the hindrances, and that has led to people being fleeced. It says, well, it's going to take a long time, but I know a driver in internal affairs. I know an askari. I know somebody in internal affairs. About 600, you get your passport very fast.
All those now are history. We introduced something called express service.
How long? If I apply for a passport?
Express takes 2 days. Once you come back after 2 days and you paid 300 for express, and you submitted your application and you have a receiving slip, and you come after 2 days and it's not ready, you complain to the supervisor or the PRO or the PCO or the Commissioner for Passports.
So 2 days, that is express.
2 days express. And that has helped us. The people who used to come and pretend to be talking to us and at the same time receiving money on our behalf, comes, greets you like any normal person, goes out of the offices and say, I have talked to the boss. He has said he wants 500,000. And the passport is going to come. Yet he just came and said, you know, I have someone who has a journey, he wants to travel. Then you tell him, let him go and apply. Then the person comes with the application, they submit. The person has paid the official amount, but has also paid the other one, which he said you asked for. So people are getting a lot of money from our clients on our behalf. That one, we arrested a number of people. We arrested so many agents. We are continuing to arrest. But when we introduced the express service scheme, it somehow reduced them because we deliver passport on time. The normal delivery for a normal passport is 10 working days. So if you come,
what is the cost of that?
The cost of that is 150,000. So express, you pay 300,000 in the bank. Please make sure you pay 300 in a go. Because if you pay 150, then you go back and pay 150 and put them together and come to us and say this is express. When the auditors come, they don't audit like that. They look at 300, that is what is equal to express. In other words, you
it's a lump sum.
Yes.
300, you get your passport in 2 days. 150, how many days?
10 working days.
10
if there is any delay, you let us
clarify
know.
On the word working days.
Working days is when there is independence. You don't count Monday. You count Tuesday. So if you bring it on Friday, you count you count Tuesday. Start counting on Tuesday. The days that we have to work. In other words, it takes 2 weeks on a normal week. If there is a public holiday in the middle of the week, you add another day. So that's what happens there. But we had even gone below that But I think right now we are 10 working days.
10 working days. It is GMU Agenda here on UBC TV. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and with me is Jacob Siminyu, that is the Public Relations Officer, Ministry of Internal Affairs, as we are looking at passports in this country. Why should you be conned of list of money when all it takes is 300 Uganda shillings to have your passport in 2 days and 150,000 Uganda shillings to have it in 10 days, whatever category it is. And they say there is no longer any shortage of passports in this country. Good, that is GMU Agenda. Now, let's look at one problem that, much as you've tried, still stands in the passport office, and that is at Ministry of Internal Affairs. The long queues. Every time I pass via going around Rosilla, Meat Packers, one irritating thing is the long queue. You see people with files, holding files, standing, and don't you think this has also led to middlemen? Because if I'm going to come, one time I went at that office around 8 at the gate, but the queue was there, and you're going to leave around midday. How are you? Are there any extreme efforts? Is it the huge time?
I want Ugandans to understand that that premises where the Ministry of Internal Affairs is has so many agencies. We have the Ministry of Internal Affairs headquarters, the Minister, the PS, Minister of State, Under Secretary, and other officials who supervise the ministry sit there. The Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control has its headquarters there. And it has 3 departments: Inspection and Legal Services, Immigration Control, and Citizenship and Passport Control. So there are people going for passports, there are people going for citizenship, there are people going to legal and inspection. Another agency is the focal point for small arms and light weapons. Under the Ministry of Internal Affairs, it is also housed there. We have the Directorate of Community Service. It is also housed there. We have the Non-Government Organizations Bureau. It is also housed there. We have the National Task Force for Trafficking in Persons. It is also housed there. So there are many people coming to that place. So we receive over 7,000 people in that premises. And you can't receive 7,000 people and just allow them to come in. So in the process of checking them, that is how you are able to see the queue. Otherwise, inside, in passport processing, we have a line of, maybe the officers at one time are more than the applicants available. So there are no more queues. However, queues can be created when, like, there was a shortage, and then we produce all passports and call Ugandans to pick their passports. That's normal. Otherwise, let Ugandans not fear to be checked to enter, because you are checked for your own security. We don't want bad guys to get on the compound and lit it. Because on that compound we have people, we have cars, we have, you know, we're just trying to plan and organize.
Jacob,
so
let's
it's for security reasons.
Look at, it's been a long time that many of us have to travel to Kampala. Have you come up with any ways of solving this issue?
Yes, if you need a passport and you're anywhere in Uganda, there are places where you can get passports from. We have now 4 passport control offices, to such an extent that if you go there, you will get a passport from there, but it will be processed from there. We have this one here at Kampala, which you know, which is on Old Port Bell Road. Okay, Ginger Road, but we enter from Old Port Bell Road because it's in between 2 roads. That's the headquarters of passport control. We have another one in Barara at RDC building. It's also a passport control office. You go there, they attend to you the way we attend to you here. Whether you want express, they will give it to you. If you paid express, they will give, and for them it doesn't even take 2 days. If you pay express up country, maybe in a day or less. So we encourage Ugandans to go to up country offices. There is another one in Mbale on Republic Street on the regional block. It's also providing the same services, and another one in Gulu, which is also issuing passports from the word go. But that is the first generation passport control offices. We have offices that support the issuance, where you go with your application, and then when it is ready, you have paid in a bank, and the officer interviews you. He says, this is a Ugandan, and he gives you a receiving slip. But the officer carries those applications and takes them either to Mbarara, Gulu, Mbale, or Kampala, gets the passports done, and goes back to his station. These are the offices. Ginger is in that category. They can take your applications to Mbale for you or bring them to Kampala. We have Lira. They can take them to Gulu or Kampala. We have Arua. We have Masindi, Hoima, Fort Poto, and Masaka. Those are passport collection offices. You go there, you leave there your application, go and do your work. After 2 weeks, you come back. You find your passport ready. And he could have done it from Barara, he could have done it from Kampala.
Well, lastly, another issue of concern to Ugandans when you talk about passports is the word replacement. Either my passport has gotten lost, my passport has gotten damaged, maybe by water or anything. Are there extra charges or penalties? Because many are told a passport is 300. But then tells you, you know, this passport was damaged, you have to pay this amount of money. Please enlighten on that.
A passport is a right. However, there are obligations, there are some restrictions on managing it. If you lose it, you report to police. If you come to have it replaced, you are required to pay a fine.
A fine?
Yes, because inside there they say it's an important document, you're holding it on behalf of the president, and you should keep it under key and lock. So you are required to pay a fine. But it is because of the laborious processes that we go through to make you safe. Because when you lose your travel document, someone else could be claiming, could be getting a job, could be conning people, could be doing all sorts of things, could be involved in terrorist activities on your behalf because he knows he's holding a different identity. And so we have to notify Interpol and take the report, as that report that you make, as far as Lyon, and distribute it to the entire world, so that the entire world knows that this passport number, this of the Republic of Uganda, belonging to such and such a person, was stolen.
So what are the rents of the fines? For example, you have a 150 passport, then a 350 passport.
If your passport is lost, you pay 100,000 for the fine.
100,000 as a fine. And
then you pay 150 for the passport. However, if you want it express, instead of paying 150, you pay 300.
As a fine?
No, as express.
Express
you pay a fine.
300.
The fine is defined. Then, if you are going to pay for a passport and you discover you have very little time, you want to use express, instead of paying 150, you pay 300. Meaning that a passport can go as far as 450 if you want it quickly, and if you lost it, and it has fines. Otherwise, a normal lost application, you pay 150 and a fine of 100,000. 250, 10 working days, you come and find smiling officers. Did you read Stella Nyanzi's?
I knew that was what you were going to ask Dr. Stella Nyanzi, praising your office for having spent 10 days and gotten her passport. In fact, she said it is the only office she has seen
where you go and you find people straight, smart, and they serve you with a lot of smiles and you know, she like used so many words, but I think we were smart, straight, and simple.
Well,
in
Jacob,
approach.
It's been a pleasure having you part of the show, and we hope all that you needed to know about passports, you're now well versed. 10 days, you get your passport. 2 days if you want express. And
just in case someone needs to call us,
yes,
you are free to call 0414 595945. Or reach us on two websites, the one of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, which is www.mia.go.ug, or the one of Immigration, which is www.immigration.go.ug. Send us your questions on Facebook. We shall be able to answer them. We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter account. Reach us in all ways. Download forms from the website.
All that is available.
You don't have to come to...
Well, for development of any country, free movement of people and effective travel documents is key. That is all we had for you in GMU Agenda this morning. Up next is Business Today. For God and my country, have a lovely weekend, and may the grace of the Lord be upon you. Goodbye.